realized that the continent is already in a situation of carbon neutrality. Although we are not emitting these carbons and all that, right? But we need to have a role, like we need to play a role. Actually, we need this clean and sustainable energy technologies. We don't have like the you can ask the tech bros in the house how much they spend using generators and how much they spend a day. So there is need for us to choose sustainable energy sources over fossil fuels, right? And I believe that, right, if we adopt like this new technologies, it's actually going to create new jobs for us, to help us experience greater economic growth. It will help us, right, in to harvest social and health benefits, and it will help us to mitigate the devastating impact of climate change. And yes, youths have a role to play, right? Not just the government, not just um, whatever, maybe one NGO or that, right? Youth of exceptional vision, youth of skills, youth of experience. We all have a role to play in developing our continent, Africa. We need to design and implement projects that have positive impact in our society. We need to deepen democracy. We need to deepen human rights, health benefits, good governance, and economic empowerment across with our skills and our knowledge. And I'm very happy that you're seated here instead of roaming the streets of Africa, maybe doing one thing or the other. I'm very glad that the number of the people who actually right. So, youth clean energy revolution. We are actually the future of society, right? We just need to renew, refresh, and maintain and improve our society. Yes, and yes, and it has to do with us contributing our ideas to resolve energy and other social issues, right? That way we can even be you can call yourself a capable leader, right? Because the government to implement those policies, right? We have eaten apple, haven't had lunch. And yes, and that alone, right, can make you can actually be doing things that you don't know is touching lives at a larger scale, right? So yeah, we all need to be involved. And I really don't want to talk about the finance and the business part to tell you that your ideas are valid, your innovations are valid, the solutions, whatever you're doing, it's valid. So long like you putting in efforts to resolve climate issues, right? It's valid. So long as you're putting in efforts to push for a clean energy revolution, it's valid. And you shouldn't actually stop doing that. You should keep on doing that. Like the world recognizes you. I recognize you. I recognize you, right? So I think that's a wrap for me. I would use this to say, according to the UN SDG campaign director, what she said, sustainable solutions, right, are only achieved when minds are connected. Minds like mine and yours are connected. That's only when we can come and develop innovative solutions. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Izuba. Thank you. So we just have a final question for our two panelists, Mr. David and Ms. Chizoba. Um, Actually, I was reading somewhere and then I discovered that the African group of negotiators, they decided not to put forward gas as a transition fuel for COP27. So there's this controversy about gas being a transition fuel, or whether it's not, or what Africa should be able to decide what its destiny should be in terms of just energy transition. So to Mr. David, you are a major stakeholder in the energy space. Do you think it's what the African group of negotiators have done by not putting forward gas as a transition for a COP27 is what's right, or what's your opinion actually?
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
The issue of gas, is quite an interesting one. But I would say, but this is my take. When we talk about, when we look at the global economy, if you look at where even Nigeria sits, Nigeria contributes less than 1%. to global emissions, right? And if you want to compare to the high emitters, the US, and other countries across the globe, right? So for us, as Africans, we need to ensure that our transition is done in a just, inclusive, you know, and in a just and inclusive manner, because we have to ensure that we use our own resources in a very formidable way to achieve the results that we want to achieve. And this is why I say this. I said everything is a business. If we look at even the energy transition technologies today, be it wind, I wouldn't talk about wind so much because it's not so prevalent in Nigeria due to the wind speed. But if you look at solar, for example, the percentage of solar PVs that are being consumed in Africa today, where is it coming from? Which economies are we enriching? Which economies are the proceeds being used to develop? So this conversation can go in different directions. But again, I would stand by Nigeria's energy transition plan, which seeks to ensure that we use gas. Gas is not a dirty source. In fact, there are other sources that are being championed across the globe, including nuclear. So, most of these countries that are saying, let us use various types of technology, are not going to be advocating for technologies that they do not have access to their natural resources. Because at the end of the day, while we're trying to save the planet, we're trying to also save the planet in a manner that also benefits the global economy. And Africa should not be sidelined with doing that as well. So if we're back in the day, even when generation would be happening, you will see that there used to be a lot of gas flaring and all, but now the technology has been enhanced to what we call the combined cycle. So instead of a lot of flaring into the air, that flaring is now being rechanneled as energy, which is being put to productive use. So when it comes to engineering and it comes to technology, we can create alternative means, to ensure that we are not significantly damaging our environment. But we need to be realistic, even when we talk about energy transition. As I speak today, Nigeria is very big on oil and gas. But do you know that Article 9 of the Petroleum Industry Bill says that the proceeds of the oil and gas sector are supposed to be used to develop the renewable energy sector? But is that being implemented today? No. And so that's why you see that even today in Nigeria, where the president is going to be defending the largest budget we have ever, I think it's about 17 trillion and more, where is the revenue being pegged against? The oil and gas sector. Meanwhile, Nigeria is alluding or has alluded to energy transition through natural gas. So we would not get to our destination all of a sudden. We would not get there without any form of deliberate economy, playing to our strength and our resources, and ensuring that the transition is going to happen over a period of time through deliberate efforts and actions. Of course, we're not going to say, oh, we should just degrade our environment, or we should just make use of the activities that we need to undergo. No. While I'm saying it, Nigeria's transition is going to be over a period of time, and we need to, by all means, play to our strength. So that's where I'll put my response to that question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. David. Thank you. Please clap if you want to clap. Thank you. Well noted. We need to be realistic. Actually, we need to be realistic, and our journey one day we'll get there. We can't just get there right now. So finally, before we go to comments and questions, We would hear from Miss Chizoba briefly in like 2 minutes. What do you think? Do you agree with Mr. David? What's your opinion?
I agree with Mr. David. Actually, yes, I agree with him 100% actually. Recently, there was some policies I actually wrote right in the Nigerian Policy Academy, and part of what he said, I actually captured it right. We can't just let go of all our resources, right? In the just energy transition, and then just acquire all these technologies, and even then, acquiring it is not like things, right? It's expensive, right? So yeah, as regards to oil and gas and everything, no, we can talk about it's a process and we will get there. Just like I was telling someone as regards to plastic issue, right? It's a process. We can rush it. We will get there. And definitely it's a process, a step by step process, and then we'll get there. But don't expect us to like really leave all our own resources, yeah, in getting there. It's a process. So oil and gas and then they're not like they're not like an enemy. They've served us. We have earned from it. They've helped us, right? So we putting them all away in a way that probably they expect and know that like you just wake up today and then you just stop using all of it and then you just go green using solar. It's not that simple. It's not like that's how it's going to work, right? Policies are going to be implemented, and then yes, the process is to actually get this done and the rest of it, right? So it's a process because I'm in Germany, right? And when I was on the on the plane, I was expecting that by the time we touch down, I would see so many solars on roofs of people because we have so many projects by the GIZ in Nigeria, in Africa, and all that. So that was what I was expecting. By the time we were touching down, oh, all the whole places, I would see so many solar panels and all that. But even here, it's very difficult for them to adopt this technology because most people do not want to modify their homes because they want to install solar panels. So one of the innovations we actually created in the United Nations framework for climate change is Akatin, right? Was actually understanding why they don't want to install solar panels, then developing solutions on why they would install the solar panels in their homes, or finding an alternative to resolve that problem, right? So if it is not even easy for them, you don't expect it to be like easy for us, right? Drop all your resources and go green. Take the old technologies, the wind, it doesn't go. It's not all that easy like that, right? So I quite agree with Mr. David. So the stuff is said on that, right? Yes, I do agree, and every other thing. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Miss Chizoba. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, we are trying as much as possible to build strength and resilience as we are innovating because the world keeps evolving, and that's something that we need to be really conscious about. All right, so yes, questions and comments as soon as possible. So we have one, share, two, three. I'm sorry, we'll not be able to take more than that. We have another panel session. Sorry, please. Sorry. Okay, all right. Okay, we'll take four. We'll take four. We'll take five. So five people. We just want because we need your contributions as well. So what we will do right now is to take all the questions. We'll take all of the questions, and then our guests, our panelists, would respond to them all together. Thank you very much. Sheye, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. I just want so much with what Mr. David said, and the truth is that we cannot just join the bandwagon and jump on things that we are not sure of. Last I checked, Nigeria is the biggest has the biggest gas reserve in Africa, like millions of cubic feet of gas, just doing nothing. And someone is trying to tell us that we should try not to transition system. So it's just we should bury our money basically. People are buying gas. In fact, right now the economic crisis in Europe is caused because of the fact that there's shortage of supply of gas, and Russia is withholding something. So is weird, and somehow when you see European nations or talks or discussions asking Africans or Nigerians like us that has it in excess that we should not include it in our future plans. So we don't just have it. We have like a gas master plan, and recently signed PIA also has like an upstream and downstream gas sector. So we're putting everything in place to be able to make use of this gas. So we cannot just out of the blue say that because we're trying to go green when in the first place we're not emitting so much, we should exclude it from our future. So I relate so much with what Mr. David said. I just wanted to give my 2 cents.
Share. Who is number two? Number two. We were three. I think it was number two. All right. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. David. I agree with what you said. Talking about adopting solar energy. The truth is that one of the reasons is that it's very costly. A solar panel, 80 watts, take it for instance, is 50,000. And you are telling an average Nigerian that the salary is 50,000 to come and buy solar panel. Eh? It's 50 now. Oh, no, okay, you are telling someone that is earning 33,000 to come and buy solar of 50,000. So you see, it's actually not making sense. Even the energy device that I sell, it's 120 minimum. Like most times, if I'm talking with a customer, like I feel somehow talking to the customer because me myself, I'm feeling the pain of the customer. So this is actually the problem because if they look at, I was talking with somebody the other day, say, let me go and buy generator because to him it's very, very cheap. So that was how I came up with the idea of the solar lamp. The solar lamp, hopefully it shouldn't be more than 6,000 naira. At least an average Nigerian can, because our major issue is just lighting. Yes, charging our phones is part of it, but if you can just have, instead of using a candle or a kerosene lantern, you can just have a lamp that probably can also charge your phone while powering your distance. Everybody will be satisfied. Forget about watching television. No, no, you can. Okay, after you send 120, let me give you 500 watts. Basi, after you send me 120, let me give you 500 watts. So that you can watch television. Okay, no, no, you see? So that's it. So that's why we've been researching. We want to use plastics because we want to make everything cheap. Very, very cheap. Very, very cheap. So that an average Nigerian, somebody that is earning 33,000, can also use the bulb. And the bulb can last for at least minimum of 40 hours. That's it. At least you can, on a single charge. At least you can be able to use it. Power your room for at least 2 days without or putting solar panel on your roof. You understand? Without, you can just charge it with electricity. Or you understand? So, Mr. David, that's the major challenge we are having. I think we are having here in Nigeria. Because if you tell an average Nigerian to buy a solar panel, and the solar panel is more than his salary, you are going to pay your children's school fees. Please. Feeding plus in fact, transportation has taken the salary already, so they will prefer to stay in darkness.
You prefer to stay in darkness? Maybe you?
Thank you very much. Noso, yes. Noso is one of the persons I met at the Federal Ministry of this Federal Ministry of Environment program, NDCs for Youth. So he's one of the young people leading innovation. He has a business around just energy transition. Would hear his story later on, and then he's one of the young Nigerians that are pushing towards energy transition. You know, addressing this thing, we have advocacy, we have policy, we have innovation. So yes, while Lashe is she's very energized about advocacy, puts in action, he's contributing through innovation solutions. So ask yourself, what are you willing to do? All right, so next person before we move to our next session.
Thank you very much. My name still remains Samuel. Mr. David, I wanted to find out because you gave two analysis about two countries regarding how some set of people brought about innovation in this just renewable energy transition. Now, for Nigeria as a country, I don't know because it's within your space. Are you sure you can provide us policies that people can ride on in terms of innovation that can help help them scale up? Like, are there policies that like for example, you mentioned they gave Rwanda gave like a 10 year tax free holiday. So for Nigerian, where we want to bring about technology into innovative what product that can scale to help achieve this push. Do you know of any policies that we can ride on to achieve that? And I would like to also find out, can we please correct be social of that statistics? I'm not sure, I'm only just trying to ask. If Nigeria is said to be one of the top 7 in gas flaring, so how come we are saying now that we contribute just less than 1% to the global emission? I don't know if we are top 7. So how did we arrive at that statistics?
All right, thank you very much. Mr. David, did you get a question? I think we're done now. So we'll just over to we will take it over to our panelists to address everything and give their closing remarks. Oh, you have a question?
I got the question. Thank you. Can you hear me?
All right, sir. Yes, sir. Please, we're coming, sir. Just okay. Oh, what do you want to say? In 30 seconds.
Okay. So on the issue of gas flaring and all these things and why these emissions are not exactly being calculated or being toxic, most of our natural gases, especially the lightweight gases, the ethane, the butane, the propane, they're actually very clean energy. Like, their byproducts at the end of the day, they produce like CO2 in like little quantities that cannot exactly like affect the environment as much as other toxic gases. So to the point whereby we say we have flarings of all these ethane and butane, to the point we still have like that CO2 in quantities that are like still like what we have in the atmosphere that is not exactly toxic. So we cannot just say those emissions are actually affecting the climate.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And that's the basis upon which Africa wants gas as a transition for. All right, so Mr. David and okay, okay, what's your question? All right, so Mr. David, someone is asking. He said you made mention of Article 9 of the petroleum bill. So she wants to be sure if what the article is all about. Okay. So that's clear, right? All right. So yes, that's clear already. But if you still want to add your 2 cents, Mr. David, that's highly welcome. All right. So over to you now, Mr. David. If your response to the questions and comments, and then your closing remarks. Thank you very much.
Great. So, thank you for the question. I think, thanks for the clarity. I was referring to the petroleum industry bill, and so I think also the question around flaring has also been addressed, which is also great. I'll just head on to my closing remarks. So, are there any questions that need clarity that I haven't responded to? So, if there,
Okay.
huh?
Okay. So someone is asking. He said policies available in Nigeria. Okay. Please just ask the question. I'm not sure.
Great. No, I think okay. The question on policies, I got that. So, when it comes to Nigeria, and not just Nigeria, but across the globe, working with government, you have to be ready to take a long walk with government because the policies are ever evolving and always changing, right? So even what those the company I referred to, we're not, and so it is not necessarily a policy thing. Rather, it's a case of what when you have the opportunity to sit down with government, what do you demand? And in turn, what are you giving? So it's not just stating, oh, you want all you want, but what are you also going to be giving in return? So you could tell that in that case for Rwanda, they're going to be ensuring that 15 to $20 million direct investment in the country over the period, at least not less than 500 of their citizens will be employed directly into the business, but also an additional 5,000 would receive additional income or increased income. And so those were value propositions as well that were, of course, added value to the government. And so it was a deal for the government of Rwanda. And also in the case of the government of Kenya as well, it was the same thing. So it's more of when you have the opportunities or when you have whatever it is that you're trying to do, what do you demand and what is the value proposition? Because with government can say, you know what, we're not going to do anything. But when you're trying to approach government, what would you tell government that they see that while you are requesting this from government, they are also providing this in return, and that forms a basis for negotiation. So that's just the clarity I needed to provide. And it was not a policy issue, it was more of a negotiation issue because there are companies today who are also in those governments who are not experiencing the kinds of with the government. So it boils down to the opportunity, the level of negotiations that go on with the government that you are engaging per time. However, as I try to give my parting remarks on this engagement, I would just say that youths need to ensure that the approach towards solving the global challenges comes from a solutions perspective. And we are the solution, we have a significant role to play in addressing these issues. When you look through the Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 of them, they are they are pointers to what the global challenges are. And we have just 8 years to 2030. We do not have time. I don't want to sound pessimistic. I want to be optimistic that from 2030, poverty will be addressed in the world. From 2030, uh, good health and well-being will be everywhere for everyone. From 2030, everyone everywhere will have access to energy. Will have energy access. From 2030, the decentralized and economic growth would have been achieved. From 2030, climate change would have been an issue of the past. Come 2030, peace, justice, and strong institutions would have been addressed. Come 2030, fraternity, both cities and communities would have been achieved. I could go on and on. And come 2030, gender equality will be out. I can go on and give you the 17 goals off the top of my head. But it's not just to talk about the goals, but to say that at the heart of this, you all have a role to play, whether advocacy, whether through activism, whether through providing approach towards solutions, whatever it is, we all have a role to play. And looking at it from what can I begin to do and begin to identify opportunities within my ecosystem to scale. But you must start something. You may not start your own NGO. You may be a part. You may decide to join some people who already have established an NGO. You may not necessarily even be working in non-profits. You may be working in government. You may be working in private sector. But you need to look at it as it's a collective.
Hi, Mr. David. All right. Oh, logged out. Would you use the opportunity to give closing remarks from Chizoba?
Can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you now. We can hear you now. Sir.
Sorry, I think I got cut off for a few seconds. So, like I was saying, right, it's a collective approach that will get it done. Sometimes some people, I have seen this happen. You get to know about an opportunity because of you're going for an opportunity. You don't share the opportunity with other people, so that you reduce the community, you reduce the competition. But please, as much as possible, I know I mean, everybody has to look out for himself, but as much as possible, we need all hands on deck and look at it from a point where if I don't get it, but the fact that is not just for the current generation, but it's for the generation yet unborn. We met the world at this state that we're in as a result of actions of the previous generation. And the question to yourself is, are you going to leave it this way for the coming generation? And if the answer to that question is no, you can begin to take action and you can start today. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much, Mr. David. Thank you for your wonderful contributions. Thank you for your time. Thanks for everything. We'll move next to our second panelist, Chizoba, in 2 minutes, if possible, please. Your closing remarks. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Once
Oh,
again, I'm very happy that we're all seated, even if I am joining virtually. And yeah, it still shows that we're looking forward to better solutions, and we're looking forward to things that we can do to make maybe our own generation right. We're ensuring that we make the right decisions as regards to should we are trying to push for the solution. Like the lady that asked the question as regards to policy, I really like the energy, right? I think she wanted the things on the constitution, whatever, to be done now, to be implemented. I want it that way too, and I believe everybody seated there, right, wants it that way too, right? We want to see solutions. We don't want paperwork anymore, right? We want everything to be. If you say you're going to make Monday Tuesday, make Monday Tuesday. That's what we want, right? We don't want paperwork anymore. So yeah, as regards to innovation, right? All your ideas are valid, and ideas actually comes from problems. Idea comes from experiences, right? Whatever your experiences actually push you to make, think creatively, to create something. Just like the guy and the NAM, the one from the is it Federal Ministry of Environment or something? Yeah, the one from the NAM. If he had not experienced, maybe if he was not experiencing such issues that he had, or he wouldn't have really think about those creation, like thinking of creating something like that. So think around, like, no, position yourself, look around you, check out the problems you're going through, check out what Africa is going through, and think of things that you can actually create, right, to help us to better our society. For me, I don't even feel like let me stay very low too. I don't feel like anyone is better than Africans. So right. So I believe that we are resilient. I believe that we have the power. I believe that we have everything that they think that we don't have. I believe that we have it, right, to actually get there. So yeah, that's me wrapping up and signing out. I'm still here with you. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, thank you.
thank you very much, Isabel. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you so much. Thank you again, Mr. David. Thanks for the one contributions. We hope to have you in our future programs. Definitely, definitely. We hope to see you soon again. Thank you. So that brings us to the next panel session. But just before that, we'll give 5 minutes for all of us to stretch our legs and then walk around. Please do not exit the hall. Virtually, please do not exit the meeting, please. So yes, we honestly would see, we even have the food in excess. We would have loved to give that to you, but I mean it's not possible. So we'll just give you some virtual breakfast. I don't know. I don't know how that sounds. I don't mean heartbreak, oh, because you're thinking of heartbreak. Yeah. So yeah, 5 minutes and then we'll reconvey. Thank you very much. But just before that, Ibrahim, are you with us? Ibrahim Yunusa. Ibrahim, are you with us? Ibrahim, if you're speaking, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. It's not so clear. 5 minutes.
Hello, Ayomide, can you hear me? Okay, so I'm interested in the guy that spoke. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yes, so I'm interested in the guy that spoke about the